Hello, 8th graders. Today we are doing Module 4, the problem set for Lesson 26. And in these we have to determine if systems of linear equations have a solution. Remember, if lines are parallel, they don't cross. The answer to a system of linear equations is the point where lines cross. But if you have parallel lines, they're never going to cross. Therefore, you're not going to have a solution if the lines are parallel. Remember, there's two things for parallel lines. First, they have the same slope. And second, they have different y-intercepts. So if the two equations have the same slope but different y-intercepts, they're going to be parallel, so they'll have no solution. Now, if you look at these are not in slope-intercept form, so we can change them to slope-intercept form. Let's start with this one. 2x plus 5y equals 9. I need to move the 2x, so let's get rid of that, right? We want the y to be by itself. So you get 5y equals a negative 2x plus 9. Now we're going to divide by 5. We have y equals a negative 2/5 x plus 9/5. Now let's do this one. Negative 4x minus 10y equals 4. Because this is negative, I'm going to add 4x to both sides. And I'm going to get a negative 10y equals 4x plus 4. Now I need to divide everything by 10. And I'm going to get a negative y equals 4/10 x plus 4/10. Now, let's get rid of the negative by the y by multiplying everything by a negative 1, right? And that we would get y equals a negative 4/10 x plus, minus, because that's going to switch, 4/10. 4/10 we can reduce, right? Y equals 2/5 x minus 2/5. Now, if we look, we have the same slope, negative 2/5, but different y-intercepts. So does this have a solution? No, because they're parallel. And we know they're parallel lines because they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So let's go on to number 2. Once again, let's change them to slope-intercept form. Let's do this one. 3/4 x minus 3 equals y. Oh, that's kind of already in slope-intercept form. Let's just flip it around. Y equals 3/4 x minus 3. Now let's do this one. 4x minus 3y equals 5. Subtract the 4x from both sides because we want to get y by itself. We get a negative 3y plus negative 4x plus 5. Now let's divide by negative 3. We're going to get negative divided by negative is a positive. Y equals 4/3 x minus 5/3. Now let's compare our slopes. Do we have the same slope? No, we don't have the same slope. These have different slopes, which means at some point they're going to intersect with each other. If at some point they intersect each other, then they will have a solution. So yes. Does this equation have a solution? Yes, because they're not parallel. Let's go on to number 3. Does this system of linear equation have a solution? So once again, let's get them into slope-intercept form. X plus 7y equals 8. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides because we want to get the y by itself. So 7y equals negative x plus 8. Divide by 7. Y equals a negative 1. 7x plus 8 sevenths. Let's do this one. 7x minus y equals negative 2. We're going to subtract the 7x. Negative y equals a negative 7x minus 2. Let's multiply everything by negative 1 so we can get rid of the negative. So negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 1 times negative 7x is a positive 7x. And negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. Now let's compare our slopes. We have a slope of negative 1/7 here and a slope of 7 here. Not the same slope, right? So these are not parallel. So is this going to have a solution? Yes, because they're not parallel. Remember, to be parallel, they have to have the same slope but different y-intercepts. Let's do number 4. Okay, this is already in slope-intercept form with a slope of 5 and a y-intercept of 12. So let's look at the next one. 10x minus 2y equals 1. So let's subtract 10x from both sides. We get a negative 2y equals a negative 10x plus 1. Let's divide by the negative 2. And we're going to get y equals 5x minus 1/2. Now what's our slope here? 5, the same as up here, but notice that our y-intercepts are different. So is this going to have a solution? Yes. I'm sorry. No. It's not, because the lines are parallel. They're parallel. And we know they're parallel because they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So they're parallel, they'll never cross, therefore there's not a solution. Number 5. This is already in slope-intercept form here. We know our slope. We know our y-intercept. Let's change this one. So let's go 5x minus 3y equals 6. So subtract the 5x from both sides. And we get a negative 3y equals a negative 5x plus 6. Divide by negative 3. We get y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive 5/3 x, and 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So let's compare. Here we had a 5/3 for our slope. Here we have 5/3 for our slope. Here we had 15 for our y-intercept. Here we have a negative 2 for our y-intercept. 15 and a negative 2. Therefore, these are parallel, same slope, but different y-intercept. So is there going to be a solution? No. Because they're parallel, they'll never cross. No solution because they're parallel. Let's go on to number 6. We have these lines, and we want to know, is there going to be an answer? So let's look at for our slope. We got an intersection there, intersection here. So our slope here is going to be 4 over 7. 4/7. What's our slope here? I go from here to, I want to find it here. So our rise is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here a slope is 6/7. These are not parallel, right? Therefore, yes, we will have a solution. Yes, because they're not parallel. You can kind of see that from the picture, but sometimes it's kind of harder to see from the picture. Number 7. Once again, let's check our slopes. I got a point here and a point here. So this is going to be a negative slope. A negative 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we have a negative slope also. Here to here, that's a negative 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 2 over 4. So it's going to have a solution? Yes, because they're not parallel. Number 8. They look parallel, but let's be sure. Sometimes looks are deceiving. So this is going to have a slope of negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1. And this is going to have a slope of negative 1 over 1, negative 1, right? So they have the same slope, and they also have different y-intercepts, right? So they're parallel. So is this going to have a solution? No, because they're parallel lines. Parallel lines will never cross. And since they won't cross, we won't have a solution. Number 9. Is there a solution to these? It's kind of hard to tell if these are parallel or not, so let's look. Let's do this one. Here. We go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this has a slope of 2/11. Let's look at this one. We go from here to here. So we have a slope of 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1/7. Same slope? No, therefore they're not parallel. So yes, we will have a solution because they're not parallel. Since they're not parallel, they will cross. Here, is this going to have a solution? Nope. We have 2 horizontal lines crossing different points of the y-axis. These will never cross. There's going to be no solution because they're parallel. Have a good day.